And I'm Dr. Cameron Garber.
And we are excited to have you here on episode 1 of the Body Smart Vodcast. Today we're going to get into what the heck does it mean to be body smart. We're going to talk about our vision for what we want you to achieve with your health. And we're going to get into some deep stuff on how you can start thinking differently about exercise in your life.
Exactly. So I'm so excited to be here and to start doing this. I think it just gives us another way to share what we do as Body Smart Physical Therapy. So we're located here in South Ogden, Utah, as far as our brick and mortar presence. So I run a physical therapy clinic, and Alex has just joined me. And so what we do is really the goal of every intervention that we have with our patients is to help them lead a healthier, more active life and lifestyle, so that health concerns and health factors, we can remove those roadblocks, we can remove those things from their life so that they can lead that life that's unencumbered from problems and pain and increased weight gain or a poor diet. All those things, we can help remove those roadblocks so that they can really get back to leading that life that they've always wanted to, and that just life gets in the way of. And so that's really what we mean by becoming body smart, is just leading that life free of all of those problems that kind of get in the way of living how we want to. And so that's what this podcast or vodcast is all about, is how to live that body smart lifestyle.
Yeah, so Cameron, let's get into your story first, because it's kind of a unique one.
Yeah.
And it precipitates the entire body smart way of thinking, right?
Yeah. Well, so there are multiple aspects to how I got kind of to this body smart job and career, and now owning Body Smart. So what happened initially was during physical therapy school, I was really interested in doing this metabolic testing thing that we'd done several times in class. We'd done VO2 testing, and so I was looking through the list of places where I could do one of my clinical rotations, and there was this wonderful person named Julie Knighton who did clinical metabolic testing in her clinic here in South Ogden, and so I was like, I need to be a part of this. I think that sounds so awesome. And so I did one of my clinical rotations with her, and it was so great. I learned so much from Julie, and she's been just one of those real mentors throughout my career. But so I learned how to do that, and then I went and did my final rotation with the University of Utah, and I loved it. I loved what I did there, and so I graduated, and they hired me on there at the University of Utah. And I quickly became the stroke team lead for the outpatient services. And so I was running and working with others, collaborating on running that outpatient stroke program. It was great. We grew the program from kind of a small little office of about 2,700 square feet with multiple clinicians but I was really the only neuro PT. There was kind of one other part-time neuro PT. To 3 years later, we had moved into over 10,000 square feet facility. We had, it was something like 15 clinicians altogether.
Nice.
I think we had 7 PTs and a bunch of others. PT, OT, speech, and then a whole wellness clinic. It was awesome. And so we grew this program, and I was sitting there one day working with one of my clients, and I just thought, oh man, I wish I could have intervened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Right, and so it kind of had this dissonance in my head of, we've got our quote unquote health care system that's really more of a sick care system. Yeah. We don't need to dive too deep into that.
Oh man, we're going to though one of these days. That's
Right.
a good one. I like that.
But we've got a healthcare system that will spend millions of dollars to rescue people after a catastrophic event, but it does very little to help people that before they're sick, before they're really ill. And so that I just knew that I had this knowledge of how to do the metabolic testing and how to intervene early in somebody's life to help them lead a healthier lifestyle. And so I thought, man, I wish I could bring that in and blend that with what I do. And I kind of tried at the University of Utah. It wasn't the right fit and the right system with where I was in more of a neurological setting. And I loved my experience there. I loved what I did. I loved the people that I work with. But I just kind of woke up one morning and had this realization that if I really want to be on that ground level of intervening before people get sick, I need to do my own thing. And so woke up one morning, told my wife, hey, I think I'm going to buy this metabolic testing equipment.
It's not cheap either, right?
No. And kind of start my own company. And I was working a 4-10 schedule, so I had one day off a week plus Saturdays. And so I bought the equipment and started working out of a tennis club in North Salt Lake. And it was great. I learned a lot of things by kind of starting out on that early venture, but I was working both jobs, and it was good, but I knew that I needed to do more. So then I got another great opportunity from some wonderful guys at a company called the Fit Stop, and they gave me an opportunity to come and join them doing the physical therapy piece, but also to do the metabolic testing more full time. So as busy as I could be with the metabolic testing. And so then I did hundreds and hundreds of tests, just testing anybody and everybody I could with the metabolic system, trying to help them learn more about their body and helping people lose weight and really make changes in their life and lifestyle. And it's been really rewarding and been a fun journey to watch people change their lives. And so that's kind of how I got here on the business side of things. And kind of my journey through my career. I left a really rewarding job that I really liked, and honestly, I probably would be making more money than I did through a couple of years of transition and to where I'm at now. And so it was hard to leave that kind of cushy job with all the benefits and everything. But at the same time, I knew I wouldn't be happy long term because I wouldn't be really helping people to my full capacity of what I knew how to help people to do. If that even makes sense.
Of course.
But so then, on the personal side, I was my first Body Smart client, which is kind of an interesting story. So through grad school, like everybody else, I had always been the 98-pound weakling and could eat as much as I want, and it was no big deal. I was never... I was always pretty fit. I was active, but I never could bulk up like I wanted to, and I did all kinds of crazy stuff through high school to try and bulk up. But just never could. And then I found what the secret was. It was to stop exercising. I went into grad school, and I did undergrad really fast. So I went to Weber and the U at the same time, so concurrently, and was taking like 20-something credits every semester. It was nuts. But I was able to get done really quickly, but that led to a much more sedentary lifestyle because all I did was either watch my 2 young boys or do homework. And so I got into grad school, and it was a pretty rigorous program. Plus, I was spending a lot of time with my family as well, knowing that kind of I'd never be able to lead that kind of lifestyle again, where I had as much downtime as school allows. Even though it's busy, it's still not quite working every day. And so I took that opportunity then to, like I said, with Julie Knighton, to learn more about how to do the metabolic testing. But at that time, I'd gained about 40 pounds. And so,
where did you hide that, man?
Well, 20 of them I needed, honestly. I was pretty thin. But so about 25 pounds, I was overweight for my body and body frame and everything. And so when I was meeting with Julie, that was the first thing I did was I said, okay, like I kind of believe this exercise smarter, not harder principle that was kind of her tagline. But I kind of had to prove it to myself. I'm somewhat of a skeptic. And so all I did was kind of change what I was eating. Instead of eating like an entire pizza or an entire pie for lunch, I started eating more fruits and vegetables. And I started just going on like a walk jog at lunch. And for me, and granted, as a 26 or 27-year-old male, weight loss is a little bit easier than for some other categories, but I lost about 20 pounds in 8 weeks.
Nice.
And so,
that's pretty fast.
Yeah, it was really fast. And so I was blown away. I didn't think that working out that, a strong wind could have done the job. But I really didn't think that I could lose weight that quickly just by a minor diet modification. I really ate healthy most of the time prior to that, but I would kind of binge eat. Not binge eat, that's maybe the wrong term, but I would eat a lot when it was put in front of me.
Yeah.
But my choices were usually pretty good. But just changing what I did for lunches and just focusing more on eating a balanced, healthy diet. And then just a moderate exercise routine where I was just getting essentially my 10,000 plus steps in every day and just kind of leading a more active lifestyle, it was awesome. I lost weight really quickly, and I thought, really, there's the key. There's the key to health and fitness. It has little to do with like this strenuous 45-minute workout and then going and sitting at a desk the rest of the day.
Which is like 80% of people who actually work out.
Right. Oh, I would say upwards of 80%.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Most of us try and get in as much, of fitness as we can, as quickly as we can, and then we go back to our regular life and lifestyle and think, well, I put in the time, so I'm good. And I see this all the time, especially, people will come in and say, I've tried everything. And I believe them. They probably really have tried everything, and they're discouraged because they're not seeing the results that they want. And I think more often than not, it's because the lifestyle transition hasn't fully happened of rather than just this 45-minute workout and then sitting at a desk and eating kind of whatever I want and all those things. It's finding out how to lead that healthy lifestyle with every choice that we make. I talk a lot with people about decisions versus reactions, and making it so that our life is more about making the decisions that lead towards success rather than just reacting to our situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that's a pretty universal principle. Somebody puts a pizza in front of me. My initial reaction is, sweet, pizza. And 6, 7 pizza later, it's gone. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have eaten that whole pizza.
Right. But that was just kind of my eating habit.
Right.
My eating pattern prior to that time was I could eat whatever I wanted, so I did. And it slowly did catch up with me. But it was redefining that pattern and seeing what, for me, it was going to be the healthiest pattern for my life and lifestyle. And so that's really what we try to help people do, is find out, A, with the metabolic testing, what does your body need? And then B, how do we find a lifestyle pattern for both diet and exercise that's going to help you to live to play another day and really, achieve lifelong health and fitness without having to kill yourself one day that may take you out for the next 3, so that you can't really be as healthy and as active and as motivated to do that health and fitness side.
Right.
So
and that's a tough thing. I mean, when you go push yourself and then you feel like crap for the next 3 days after a big workout like that, it doesn't make you want to jump out there and do it all over again.
Well, and that's what I found with people that tend to do more high intensity workouts is, as a physical therapist, obviously, we see the downside of that, right? We see a lot of injuries and things. And so that definitely makes it so you can't make a habit of exercise if you're out for the next 6 to 8 weeks nursing an injury, and then you have to come back from that injury. But also what I've seen is people, they do a strenuous workout and then they need 1 or 2 days to recover, and then that next time up, it's easier to slip in excuses of like, well, I'm just not feeling up to it, or, well, I'll do it later tonight. I can't get it in this morning, but I'll do it later tonight. And then things happen. Kids have ball games and whatever that is, and it just kind of interrupts that flow. And so I've found that a more moderate intensity exercise program that makes it so you're not killing yourself, that allows you to do something every day, allows you to lead a more active lifestyle because you're not always beat down and depleted from your workout. But B, it allows you to work out every day without getting as tired and fatigued and depleted, so that you're burning more total calories, you're less likely to get injured, and you feel better because you're not always in this heavy recovery state where you're having to eat a lot of calories to recover, where your muscles and joints and tendons are always in a heavy state of recovery that they can't keep up with sometimes, and that's what leads to those injuries. And so it's been a transformative way of my thinking. I kind of always grew up in the sports world. And being a man of not large stature, I really had to fight hard to keep up with everybody. And so I've always felt like if you're not throwing up at the end of a workout, or you're really working out, or if you're not pushing yourself hard and lifting hard and whatever, then you're not really getting everything out of your workout. And And it was fascinating to find that I actually felt better, liked fitness more. I actually like running now, where I grew up in sports, always, running was a punishment.
Yeah.
Right? Running was what you did when you screwed up. You go run laps or ladders or whatever, right? Like running was a punishment.
Right.
And now I found that I like fitness and exercise and running, because instead of feeling like I have to kill myself every workout and really like, yes, I'm the champion of my workout today. Instead, it's more about my fitness is tailored to help me lead the active lifestyle that I want to lead. And so rather than killing myself off and my fitness being everything that I do to lead the active lifestyle, my fitness is there to set up and support and make sure that my joints are strong and well taken care of so that I can lead the active lifestyle that I want to lead. I can go, if somebody says, hey, let's go play basketball, I can go play basketball without reservation.
Right.
Because I know my knees are going to be fine, and my shoulders and my feet or whatever, that those aren't going to be a problem, because on the fitness side, I maintain my body so that I can do all those things that I want to do. So I was just asked to do a Kings Peak hike. So Kings Peak is the tallest peak in Utah.
That's big.
Yeah, and I think it's 13.5.
Yeah. Somewhere around there.
And so and I've done it before, and it's a wonderful hike. It's a ton of fun, but it's pretty. The last 1,000 feet or so,
it's always the last 1,000 that gets you.
Right. Well, it's pretty high up there, and it's not too crazy, but that last 1,000 feet, you're huffing and puffing and going, wow, this is really a lot higher than where I live at 4,500 to 6,000 feet. Usually is where I kind of hang out most of the time. That's double that, and. But I was really surprised when I've done that in the past how much I didn't have to worry about it. Nice. Because I maintained a certain level of fitness that made it so that was kind of no big deal. It was a hard workout, and my legs were tired and things like that. But I wasn't dying, or I wasn't ever concerned about my fitness getting in the way of me being able to do whatever it was that I wanted to do. Whether it's Kings Peak or if it's rolling around on the floor with your grandkids, your health and fitness shouldn't be the barrier to why you're not doing those things that you want to do.
Right.
And so that's what becoming Body Smart really is all about, is removing your health and fitness as that barrier, so you really can lead this life informed about what your body really needs, so that you can treat it the way it wants to be treated, so that you can lead the healthy, active lifestyle.
That's awesome. So let's talk for just a minute about the things that we're going to get into on the Body Smart Vodcast coming up, because we have a ton of stuff that you just mentioned, and we can deep dive into every single one of those things. Let's talk about some of the key things that we're hoping to bring to people, and why they should keep listening.
Yeah.
So first off, what are some of the main points that you feel like we'll be hitting over the next few weeks as we get into this? Well,
definitely I want to hit some of those points that we just briefly mentioned. One of them is decisions versus reactions. I think that's a huge one. The other is how to make sure that your health and fitness isn't getting in the way of your activities, right? And so that's a huge concept in and of itself. I think the main one I want to talk about in the next little bit is how to do the metabolic testing, like why that's important, how you do it, so that we can help maybe decrease some intimidation and fear that might be associated with that. Tell people how they can get tested no matter where they live, and be able to open that door so that people can understand a little bit better what their body does, how it works, and what it needs to respond in terms of burning calories and how much we should be eating and other things that we learn from the metabolic test. How intense to work out is one of the biggest keys. And we can show somebody for their body exactly what intensities they can work out so that they can see the success and results that they want to see. Another main topic that I want to hit is essentially my 5 keys for avoiding fitness sabotage. And so I could go off about all of those 5 keys for days. But essentially the sum of all of those 5 keys is make sure that your fitness efforts match your fitness goals. And so we're definitely going to talk about fitness goals and how to make them, how to keep them, and what realistic goals are. But then on the fitness effort side of things, making sure that our fitness efforts match our fitness goals, we'll talk about some of those 5 keys and why those are going to be critical in making sure you don't sabotage what you're trying to do with your fitness. And I find that that's what a lot of people that tell me that, I've tried everything. They really try hard, and for years often. And I sympathize with them so much, because so much of what we see in the media and in fitness fads and trends, I guess, are things that wind up often sabotaging our fitness. Just because they work for somebody or work for that 26-year-old on the infomercial doesn't mean that they're going to work for you. And we wind up working really hard or doing, eating healthy foods or things like that, but it may not be in line with what your body actually needs.
Right.
And it may be, and this is what I find more often than anything, is it may not actually be in line with your personal goals, right? And so if we can just switch that around a little bit to make sure that every effort you're making for your fitness really backs up what you want to accomplish with your fitness, then we'll see a lot more success.
Yeah.
Rather than doing, a really intense power-based workout, but really all we want to do is become, thinner and look better in our jeans, they may not be congruent with one another.
Right.
And so there's some factors there that you kind of have to ask yourself, what do I really want to accomplish, and is this really helping me? And so...
Well, I know. I need to fit into my jeans, so that...
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. Like, everyone has different fitness goals. And so
Right.
if you're following someone else's fitness goals, or your efforts are leading towards someone else's goals, what's the point?
Right, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, and with that, I think people want to all look like the bikini model that they see on TV or whatever that is. Well, I have no response to that.
Smart choice.
But that bikini model image, may not be realistic, may not actually be what you want as a goal.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we talk about what people's real goals are, we find that isn't as in line with their goals as they think.
Yeah.
Right? They really want to be more healthy, or they really want to, look good, but want to not hinder their health.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that bikini model body isn't actually healthy. And so finding out what true health is and true fitness is for them and for their body and body type and all those things, we really can kind of unlock some of those things that emotionally hold us back from accomplishing our goals, because we tend to beat ourselves up big time.
Yeah.
We're harsh on ourselves. We're usually our own worst critic. And so if we're constantly beating ourselves up and giving ourselves negative messages, it makes it really hard to accomplish our goals anyway.
Right.
And so we definitely, as part of that goal setting process and analyzing what you need for your fitness, we look at what do you really want to accomplish, and is that a realistic goal? And so it's not uncommon that I talk people off the ledge of wanting to lose that last 10 pounds. It's like,
that's interesting.
You're actually healthy. Like, you're fit, you're healthy right now. Let's focus less on the weight on the scale and more on a couple other factors of health. And so that has been transformative. I mean, I've had kind of a gamut of different clients. I've had weight gain clients, obviously. I've had weight loss clients. I've had fitness clients that are looking to improve their running time or their cycling times or things like that. And everybody has a different goal for what they want to accomplish. I mean, one of my patients' goals, it was really fun to see, her goal was simply to be able to walk up and down the stairs better, because her mobility had been so limited. She literally carried everything down the stairs with her every morning that she thought she would need for the day.
Jeez, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and so she didn't have to go up and down the stairs because she feared the stairs. And that was such a liberating thing for her, but also for me to see that burden lifted out of her life when she's like, I'm running up and down the stairs now. And I haven't, even dared attempt the stairs other than first thing in the morning and last thing at night.
Right.
For years. And what a fun thing to see that transformation in her life. But more fun is to see the transformation in somebody's life that is, in their 20s, 30s, or 40s before they get to that point.
Right.
And we can help them lead that lifestyle before they ever get to the point where they're not able to carry stuff down the stairs.
Yeah.
right? If we can help somebody lead that lifestyle while they're having kids, while they just kind of got done having kids, or while they're making that transition from their 30s into their 40s, when things start aching that never used to ache before.
Right.
Like when you wake up and you're like, why am I sore? Like this is a new experience, right? To help people learn how to lead that healthy lifestyle and feel great when they wake up because they're not dying from their latest adventure. That really is what I want to help people learn and achieve. That to me is what Body Smart is all about. Is either removing that roadblock, whether it's an orthopedic issue on the physical therapy side, whether it's more of a healthy habit issue on the metabolic side. I really want to help my people with every single intervention, with every single meeting that we have, to make a small step in the right direction. And that's something we'll talk about, the 1% changes that we help people make. So with goal setting, I like to talk about 1% changes instead of 10% changes. Let's make 1% changes, small things that we can actually make a difference in today or over the next week, rather than 10% changes that are going to be really hard and painful to incorporate into your life. And so the 10% changes are great, but if I can make 1% changes, my net gain is the same, and I'm able to keep moving forward.
Right. And that makes sense. It's sustainable.
Yeah.
So we are physical therapists. So not only are we going to be talking about the metabolic side of things and the exercise side of things, but we're going to be talking about health concerns, like how to get past injuries. We're going to talk about how to avoid injuries. We're going to be talking about specific things that you can be doing, whether you're a runner, whether you're a cyclist, whether you're just a recreational 3-on-3 basketball player.
Right.
Like, we have worked with all those types of people, so we're going to be talking about those types of things too here on our podcast. Exactly.
Yeah, runner's knee is super common, right? And
in fact, I got a little bit of that going on right now.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Good. And we all, I mean, I wind up right now. For me, I'm training for a marathon, and my feet are feeling it a little bit. So I've been treating my feet and making sure that I can keep running. So I think that's somewhat of a natural part of an active lifestyle. Yeah. But those types of things, are definitely what we're going to cover as well. Making sure that any orthopedic concerns that you have, that you can learn kind of what you can do at home and when you need to go see somebody to get help.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We're going to be bringing in resources as well. We're going to be getting access to other experts in the fields. We'll be talking about these issues. And we also want to invite you to ask us questions. We'll be answering questions live on these because I know that you have them. Before physical therapy school, I had 1 million questions. And you go through this process and you start working with people, and it's like, holy cow, light bulb, and you just have these moments where it's like, oh, this is such great information, and we want to be able to give that to you. So we want you to go to bodysmartutah.com/podcast. That's where you can find kind of our resources that we'll be pooling here for this show, and you can get in touch with us too if you have a question that's specifically about your exercise, your metabolism, right? The things that we've talked about today, or maybe it's an injury, maybe it's your back's been sore for a while, maybe your feet have been hurting, like, how do I take care of that? Hit us up. Let us know, because we're happy to answer those things here.
Yep. Anything really, from fly fishing injuries, right? With a tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, anything like that, we're happy to help. We see some interesting things, but really our desire is to keep you on the road, keep you doing the things you love to do, so that you can lead that healthy, active lifestyle. That's our goal. And so all of this is just leading towards you being able to lead that healthy, active lifestyle that you want to lead.
Most definitely. Yep. Thanks for tuning in today. Again, go to bodysmartutah.com/podcast. Get some of the resources that we've talked about. We actually teased this a little bit. Cameron's written this guide called the 5 Keys Guide, and we want to give you access to that as well. So if you hit up our podcast page, bodysmartutah.com/podcast, you can get access to that entire ebook that we've written that's going to cover these things that we'll go more into depth in.
Yep, perfect.
Thank you so much for listening, you guys. We'll catch you on the next Body Smart Vodcast.
Thanks for listening to the Body Smart Podcast. Join us in the Body Smart community on Facebook to share your successes or ask a question for our next episode. Now get out there and take the next step toward living your active lifestyle.